Hey everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about the Arsenal versus Manchester United match. As you all probably seen it by now, there's not going to be any highlights or anything, just wanted to give my opinion. I've, of course, watched a lot of the Arsenal Fan TV stuff since the match. No one's really managed to change my opinion on how I thought of the game, to be fair. There are a couple of points I wanted to make, though, which is why I made the video. I only seem really to make these after we suffer a really big loss, or I don't know if I did one after the FA Cup win. I think I probably should have done if I didn't. So, as you all know, the score was 3-1 to Manchester United at the Emirates, which was a real big shame to lose the I don't know, it was undefeated or winning streak that we had there. But no, we'd been playing really well at home, and it was one of the positives we'd managed to take from the season. But losing that against United is a bitter blow. The first 10 minutes, it was all our own downfall. The two goals Manchester United scored were on the counter-attack, and I think by the 60th minute or so, Manchester United had 2 shots on target and 2 goals. So it pretty much does sum it up. We were absolutely horrendous in the defensive third of the pitch, pretty much for the whole game. Manchester United sat back after 2, after they got the second goal, which you'd expect them to do, being the team away from home, and obviously Jose's the manager, so you expect that from him as well. But yeah, Arsenal just had all the possession, all the shots, all the chances. And like I've been saying to a lot of people who I work with, some of them, quite a few of them Manchester United fans. And, you know, I've sort of been a bit on the fence about De Gea. I've sort of thought he maybe flatters to deceive a little bit, that he's, you know, not all that, you know, mostly, yeah, it's a pair of hands that are just the whole talk about him being world class. I've always sort of thought there are a lot better goalkeepers that I would put before De Gea. But I've got to say, he's really changed my mind after the match yesterday. I thought he was absolutely incredible, almost unbeatable. You know, the goal that was scored, he didn't have a chance against anyway. So, and he saved things he had absolutely no right to save. I can't think that I've personally watched a better performance, really. I think from a goalkeeper, I can only probably attribute it to one or two of Shay Given's particular goalkeeping performances for Newcastle. You know, he's dug them out. He used to dig, you know, Newcastle had some right holes, but yeah, De Gea today, absolutely and utterly a world class. I've got no doubt about it at all anymore. You know, always thought he was very good, but I think today he's proven to me anyway that he is, if he's up there. You know, there's like 3 or 4 really world-class keepers, and he's definitely in that. He's in the mix of them for definite. So, big hats off to De Gea. I thought he played really well. I was just really disappointed that we couldn't get the goals that was required, especially when Manchester United went down to 10 men. So, in terms of defence, like, all I can say about the defence is we're horrendous, and you know they deserve all the negative press that they get for that. It was just, quite frankly, not good enough. It was really bad. I mean, the problem is United were also as bad, but they dug themselves out of the situations. De Gea dug themselves out, another defender was there to dig them out, and Arsenal just didn't have that on the day. The mistakes that were made led to goals. It was as simple as that, effectively. Talking about, I'm a bit all over the shop, but talking about Paul Pogba's red card, when I first saw it, I thought it was a bit innocuous. I thought it might be a booking. Watching it back on the replay, I thought the referee's actually done really well to spot it and give the red card. It was really bad, to be fair. One of the commentators did say as well is he thought it might have been retribution for Bellerin cleaning out Young, which, yeah, potentially, but that was, well, I've got the unfortunate situation of having watched all the games in which Arsenal players have broken their legs and stuff previously, just at home, you know, not obviously live. But yeah, then I was convinced, I was certain I'd seen another leg be broken. I saw the tackle, but fortunately, Bellerin was all right. He might miss a game or two, but he was moving okay enough, I felt, after the challenge. So Bellerin seems like he should be okay. Fingers crossed for Bellerin. I'm sure it will be fine, but yeah, just have to take some precautions with him after that one. And yeah, Paul Pogba well deserved the red card. for certain. I know if you're seeing it in real time, you can maybe look at it and think it wasn't, or it's debatable. But watching it back, especially on the replay, it's a red card all day long. He did his little ironic clap to the official afterwards. That is going to lead him to, well, a 4 or 5 match ban in total, I would have thought, if they do look into it, which they should do. Whether they do or not, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, definitely should be looking into that sort of behaviour. It's not good. Don't like to see any players do it, even when they've been wrongly sent off. But yeah, it was not the most professional thing Paul Pogba could have done. That's the best way I think I should put it. So, we got into the final embers of the game. We had a sort of like 15, I suppose altogether 20-minute spell where Manchester United were down to 10 men. It was all Arsenal. I was really disappointed with Ozil today. Obviously, I'm not Ozil's biggest fan, as you know, even though everyone's bigging him up from the Huddersfield game. And that's all well and good doing against the smaller teams or the teams in the bottom half of the table or mid-table. But I said this, and I still stand by it till now. Like, the test was against Manchester United for Ozil. Prove you can do it in a big game. And he had the perfect opportunity. He had so much of the ball, all of the creative freedom right up until the final third. Manchester United only had 10 men, and I was just really disappointed in his performance. I feel that, like, if you're one of the best playmakers in the world against a 10-men team, when you've got all the ball, all the possession, all the momentum, you need to be creating more than what was created against Manchester United. Full stop. Simple as that. I'm not saying that the other players around him couldn't have done more. They definitely could have done more. But in terms of me judging Ozil on his performance and, thinking, do we need to keep this guy? I'm very, very much on the fence. I mean, yeah, okay, you might be able to turn it on against the lower teams, but you need to be there for the big teams, the big game player. I think we lack big game players in Arsenal. We've got players who can play really well when they know they're in the ascendancy, when they know that they are a better team unit than the team they're coming up against. But in terms of them, when it's even or when your back's up against the wall, we just don't have that. We don't have those big game players, unfortunately. So I don't think Ozil is one of them. I think he has to be in a team that's in the ascendancy. So maybe it might be better off for him moving to, a different team where they're in the ascendancy a lot more than perhaps Arsenal are when we come up against the top 6 sides. I always feel as though Arsenal are potentially on the back foot against the top 6 sides, personally. I just don't think that we've really got the players. You look at it on paper and you always fancy the other team more than you do Arsenal, unless you're an Arsenal fan, which I am, so eternal optimist, as always. But no, that was just really, obviously, my opinion. I am upset about the result. I am more I don't really know what I take from it. I've not learned anything about the Arsenal team that I didn't know already. I feel as though De Gea is massively the real deal. I think he's incredible. Don't want to go on about him too much because he plays Manchester United, so I'm supposed to not like him. In terms of other players that played well, I'm not too convinced Lingard deserved man of the match. I thought he played well. He'd got his 2 goals. But neither of them were anything special. I think if whoever else had been in the team would have scored those 2 goals, if Manchester United had replaced him with any other player. And I think for me, De Gea was man of the match. We should have had a penalty towards the end, which probably I'd be a lot more upset about. The issue with it was it was so late on that I think, well, even if we'd have got the second goal and it's 3-2, are we getting the third? Nah. Probably not. And it's one of them though. It was a bad refereeing decision. It was a clear penalty, and I don't know. Maybe it's one of them where, well, you might look back and think, well, we didn't get that clear, obvious penalty in that game, and then maybe next week we'll get one that we shouldn't really get, and put that away and maybe get a win from it. So it's just one of them. I do think they sort of balance themselves out over the course of the season, or at least that's what you have to tell yourself anyway. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think, what you thought about the game. I can't really look at it too positively. It was a bitter defeat to take. Manchester United deserved the win overall. You can look at the stats and argue the stats all day long, but yeah, at the end of the day, we were not good enough, and I think that was the big issue for me. It was very disappointing in the end. despite the fact, really good individual performances, mainly by De Gea. So, I don't think it will play too much on the players' minds. I think they'll get up and go, hopefully, in the next game. But, yeah, it was a bit of a setback for us, especially losing the Emirates. And we'll carry on and see how it goes. I think top 4 is the goal this year for certain. And if, Ozil or Sanchez decide to go, then so be it. I just don't see, we can't really get much worse. I think this is more of a broad point that I'd like to make, is that, people used to be criticised when we had Flamini and we had Alex Song and we had Adebayor and Bentner and whoever else, but, we've done worse with Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, Mustafi, Koscielny, Cech, and, you would look at those players and think, that's a massive improvement in the team. Whether it's that other teams around us have got a lot better, which it could well be, more so than we've improved, that could be a thing. But yeah, we've definitely not gone forward. So we'll see how it goes on from now till the end of the season. But just wanted to really give my opinion on the game, and just wanted to express my concern with it. I feel like the defence really let the team down today, and we're a bit blunt in attack. Anyway, I've gone on far too long now. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. And I'll see you all when Arsenal lose by a really big scoreline again, I'm sure. Goodbye.